Hello, listeners. Before you break into the WrestleMania 36 review right here on the WrestlePod, just to let you know that it is being split into two parts due to the lengthy recording session that Anthony and myself had whilst going over the weekend's festivities. So you're listening to part one right now, and before I throw you into it, here's a little track from ANTwontstop. You've heard him on this show before, and here he is with a little WrestleMania verse for you to wrap your eardrums around. Here it is.
WrestleMania 36, no time for games or dirty tricks. I've been waiting for a good fight, know it's bound to be a worthy fix. No prolong, the show goes on. Whoever said it's canceled told y'all wrong. I'll be watching it the whole night. House party with the strobe lights. We all going through a dark time. I'm just over here to show light. Thinking positive my whole life. Vince is trying to make the show right. AJ Styles versus Taker. Good luck Styles, meet your maker. McIntyre ain't no liar, has the passion to beat Brock. Claymore kick to the dome, just in case he forgot. Cena wants to beat the Fiend. He's not trying to be squashed. Edge is really on a mission now. Randy Orton won't back down. The card is subject to change. The bars are subject to flames. But one thing's remaining the same. They keeping the fans entertained. They keeping the fans entertained. They keeping the fans entertained. Everybody want a title shot, but nobody's trying to rehearse. People complaining quite a lot, but don't want to put in the work. I'll be jumping in feet first. Keep on collecting the checks. This right here is a free verse. I ain't gonna finish the rest.
It goes without saying, every time ANTwontstop drops a track that's based around a wrestling show, it is always fantastic. This, of course, is just a verse this time round, but you can listen to it for free over on YouTube. Just search for ANTwontstop. You'll find his stuff there, and subscribe, because this dude is talented. And he has been a guest on the show before. He will be a guest again. I can assure you that. Now that that's all out of the way, let's get into part one of the DOWPOD WrestleMania 36 review, night one. Here we go.
Welcome to Dits on Wrestling.
Hello and welcome to the Dits on Wrestling podcast, the Royal Navy's only pro wrestling pod, and that seems pretty fitting this year considering WrestleMania was nautical themed. This is a nautical themed podcast, so it's a match made in heaven, and unfortunately it's a Mania that I couldn't go to because it seems like if there was one I was going to go to, it would be this. But here we are, we sit at the end of the WrestleMania weekend. It wasn't just a night, it was over 2 nights, too big for one night, according to WWE. And we're going to drop a little review of night 1 and night 2. And I can't do this on my own, so of course I'm going to bring back my first mate, my go-to. It is Anthony of the AA Talk Stuff podcast. Anthony Talk Stuff podcast. Welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
Thank you. I am glorious. Coming off night 2 of WrestleMania. I'm really excited to be here, just joining my buddy on another episode, and I'm not doing a WrestleMania episode this year on the, as you mentioned, on the Anthony Talk Stuff podcast. Follow me on Twitter at AA Talk Stuff. So it's cool that I get to come here and do some WrestleMania talk with you, and yeah, good stuff, even though you couldn't be there in person because the world is infected with sickness everywhere.
Infected with death.
A little bit.
Sadness. And of course that impacted the show as a whole because we had nobody in attendance in the performance center. I mean, we'll get into the review properly, in a minute, but that seems like a pretty good segue. Like when you saw Drew Gulak come out, I'm assuming you watched the pre-show. Did you watch the pre-show?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so when Drew Gulak came out and there was the stage, it was there. This is what WrestleMania 36 was going to look like in 2020. Like, how did you feel? Like, what was your instant reaction?
You know what's funny is going into it, like I've been super down on WWE as a whole for like a long time, and going into this, I genuinely had like no expectation, and when I saw the stage, it kind of like it was definitely underwhelming. But then what I thought, and we'll get into it more as we go into the individual matches. The first thing I just thought of right then and there was like I felt for the wrestlers for however many times, like Gulak right there. Like think about it, if it was normal, you get to be like, dude, you're the first match of like this WrestleMania. I don't care if it's pre-show or not. Like that's a pretty cool thing, and the fact that you're doing it and it's in front of literally like basically nobody except for fucking Rob Gronkowski, like that sucks. And I felt bad for them, and it definitely hits you. Like it's such a stark difference. Like we're used to WrestleMania being in front of like 70, 80, 90,000 people, even for the pre-show, like everybody's ready and raring to go, and this time it's just like silence, and it definitely changes the dynamic of how you watch it.
Yeah, and my instant reaction was complete disappointment at the fact there was no pirate ship.
That's a big letdown. My most excited, the thing I was looking forward to the most when they announced where it was going to be was like, oh man, it's pirate themed. They can do stuff with the ship in the stadium, and also like Kairi Sane does pirate shit. Maybe she'll do something. They'll somehow tie that in. That'd be awesome. That was the first thing I thought of when they like announced that it wasn't going to happen. And I was like, oh, Kairi Sane can't do any pirate stuff.
Because that would have been cool. But I guess in the grand scheme, if that's a babyface thing, really. So
yeah,
would it have happened? I guess it would have happened because you've got to capitalize on stuff like that. But I still think they could have put a pirate ship in there. There was enough room. It'd be a lot more scaled down than what I imagined the WrestleMania set to be. And in fact, actually, I would just love WWE to release like some kind of set blueprint of what it was going to be. Like, because I'm just curious to see what we would have had.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I can imagine it would have been a pirate ship.
And I don't see how you can't. I feel like they could have put like obviously scaled down, but that WrestleMania sign was pretty fucking big. I feel like they could have replaced that with a ship.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And I was just like, well, I'm a little bit disappointed in that. And the missus was like, well, what do you think is going to happen? They lost all the money from the budget from the show, and I was just like, all right.
Fair enough.
I was like, okay, touche.
All right.
Yeah, so it was a very different feel of WrestleMania this year, and it was weird, but I got over it pretty damn quick, to be honest with you, and we'll get into all of that. But we're gonna get like two plugs actually out the way first. This is actually the second consecutive WrestleMania-esque episode that we're doing together. Of course, last week we did the worst WrestleMania card ever, which we, on the episode, actually bigged up as the greatest WrestleMania card ever. And it turns out now officially, I mean, me and you have been back and forth in DMs on Twitter over the last week, and I said it was the best episode or the biggest episode of 2020 for the WrestlePod. It is now officially, as of yesterday, the biggest episode of the WrestlePod ever.
That's fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm. And I'm happy to reveal that on here. Like, and that's in the space of a week, mind you. That's one fucking week.
That's so awesome. Also, with that episode, not to be confused, like we do like the worst WrestleMania card, but don't confuse that for like us taking this actual WrestleMania card and like ripping it apart and talking shit, because some people on Twitter thought that that's what we did, and they were less than pleased, and we had to politely correct them.
Yeah,
just a bit.
And that's why I wanted to get the previews out there as well, because the moment I started mentioning that prostitutes were going to be lumberjacks for Bray versus Kane, I thought, well, there you go. That's kind of what we're aiming for here. It's not. Yeah,
it's not real. It's not real. That's awesome that it's the most successful episode ever. I had a fuck ton of fun on that, and yeah, we've been back and forth in the DM so much about it, but I had a great time on it. It's awesome that it's like translated to popularity for the pod and for the episode, and oh yeah, that was so fucking awesome.
I mean, granted, you were the MVP. I will give you that badge.
Yeah, but I mean, it was your idea, and you bring out the best in me. So for as much credit as given to me, it goes to you.
And off the back of this,
you're my captain.
Off the back of this, I think it's just the natural thing. I was thinking of doing it anyway because we kind of talked about NXT TakeOver and the lack thereof this year around Mania season. So we thought, you know what, we'll come up with our own TakeOver card, but just put the terrible spin on it, like we did with Mania. But now, due to the popularity, and to be fair, like even if this episode had 2 people listen to it, I would still be saying to you, and I'm sure you'd be saying the same to me, let's just fucking do this. Let's make it a regular thing.
1,000%.
So every WWE pay-per-view going forward, we will do a pre-show experience worst pay-per-view card ever, and we'll continue that trend throughout the year. I don't even know what the next pay-per-view is. I don't even know when it is. I don't think anybody does at this point. But rest assured, when a pay-per-view does drop, we will be doing a worst pay-per-view card ever. Continuing on the storyline beats of our previous one. So we're going to create a little world inside a little world.
So for all the people that have been just absolutely on the edge of their seat waiting to find out if Tamina was able to carry on her legendary title streak, you'll be able to find out. And if you want to know who was able to build their ladder faster between Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins in their ladder match, you'll get that too.
What I will say is one of the competitors in the haystack match is now blind.
Yeah.
You get to find out who that is.
Needles are dangerous. They're small, but they're very lethal.
You don't want that. You don't want a prick to the eye.
Snugglefoot, and that's what she said. That's not good for anybody.
That's what she said.
I wanted to get a "that's what she said" in during your
It's been a while.
intro. Your lead-in intro, it has been a while, and your lead-in was so well done, and you were in such a good rhythm. But when you were like WrestleMania 36, it was too big for one night. I really wanted to be like, "That's what she said." But I was like, "No, he's in rhythm. Don't do it. Don't do it." I had to fight it off.
I think I found the key to good rhythm is alcohol. It would seem I've had numerous beverages
fancy
this evening.
French.
So beverage, yeah, I like to bust out an occasional French-esque.
Well, if there's any time to do it, it's WrestleMania season.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Now, maybe because of the same reason of having a few drinks, I've already forgotten the second plug. No, I haven't. It's come back to me.
There you go.
It's come back to me straight away. I've plugged it on the old Twitter machine this week. Coming up in 2 weeks' time, almost to the day, I will be showcasing the 1-year anniversary of the Dits on Wrestling podcast, and it's just amazing that it's fallen on the exact day that I throw these episodes out on a Sunday. So the 19th of April marks the 1-year anniversary, and we're gonna Headlock Talk was supposed to come on last week or the week before to do a draft that, and it was going to be a triple threat, but I figured let's make it a little bit bigger than that. Let's make this thing a tag team, and of course, if I'm going to go against the guys of Headlock Talk, I need to bring in my first mate, my go-to guy. So it's me and you versus Headlock Talk in a draft that tag team match.
We're gonna fuck them up.
Drafting best
Coming
gimmicks.
Fucking blood.
Shit.
Is this not an actual fight?
Well, we can make it an actual fight.
Well, there we go.
Just dress in the best gimmicks we can think of, just to make it relevant.
Makes sense.
But that's all coming on April the 19th. And it's going to be pretty epic. I don't know how it's going to work, because usually it's just one-on-one. Now we're throwing 2 extra bodies in there, but it will work, and it will be bloody marvelous.
It will be bloody. That is true.
You had to say that whilst I was swigging my fucking drink.
I didn't realize it until I was finishing saying the word and I heard you taking a swig, but I was already 70% of the way there, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go with it.
It's mango energy drink. I'm going to have sticky chops.
That, you know what? That's also what she said.
Yeah, there it is. I set you up and you fucking knocked it out of the park.
Sticky chops, yeah?
You got sticky chops.
This episode's already great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just fucking par for the course, really. Right, so we're going to obviously review WrestleMania. We're finally going to get into it. We're going to break down every single match. Like we talked about this before we start recording. Our memory of night one is hazy, to say the least. So we're not going to go into detail through every match, but we know what was good and we know what was absolutely dreadful, and we'll marry it up as we go through. But we've already talked briefly about Gulak. His appearance, of course, on the pre-show, we had Cesaro versus Drew Gulak in a singles match. Went 4 minutes and 25 seconds. It was one of those things that was, I mean, because it was on the pre-show, I didn't really care. I wasn't even aware that it was even happening. So it was actually a nice little surprise. And I was expecting a little bit more. But for what it was okay. But to see Cesaro bust out that fucking helicopter, whatever the thing is, and put his arms on his hips whilst he was doing it was impressive as hell. And that actually finished the match as well, which was weird.
Yeah, a little bit. My biggest takeaway from it too was I thought it would get more time. And then especially in retrospect, knowing that it was the only match of the pre-show, I was definitely kind of like, oh, I thought it would get more, and it was short, but I mean, I think it was effective for what it was supposed to do. I think it's definitely a reminder that Cesaro is such a good fucking wrestler, and he just doesn't get I feel like no one is ever happy enough with the push and the shine that he gets. I wish he was on the main card and doing something a little more impactful for this Mania, but I mean, he looked awesome again.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys that you just throw. You could throw him against anybody.
He can do anything.
And yeah, exactly, he can fly high. He can smash out some power moves against the biggest fucking guys in the business. I mean, we just look at Big Show, Braun, all them kinds of guys that he can throw them around. Not necessarily with ease, but he can fucking do it. Yeah,
if you're going by weight, he might be the pound for pound strongest dude in wrestling. Period. The stuff he can do is just nuts.
I mean, the commentary team always pound on about how, pound for pound, he's the strongest guy in WWE. And usually when they come out with stuff like that, it's an eye roller.
No, but that's lit.
It is actually probably true. So
yeah,
we'll give them a buy on that one. But yeah, it was a decent match for what it was. Maybe, yeah, I'd say the right guy won. Drew Gulak's been getting the upper hand recently, and it was just a pre-show, so whatever. But kicking off WrestleMania, and it actually surprised me that this did kick off Mania. I thought it was going to be something else. We had the Women's Tag Team Championships being defended for the first time in 2 years. It was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross against the champions, the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. This match went 15 minutes and 05 seconds.
Another French.
You're going to get a lot of that.
A little bit.
This is one of those ones that is a little bit hazy when I'm trying to remember it, and it's probably because it was so far back now. I mean, it was yesterday, but I can't even remember what I had for breakfast.
It wasn't. I like Kairi Sane. I like Asuka. I like Alexa Bliss. I think she's better than people give her credit for. But this match did not. It wasn't a good start. I think it might have been better if it had a crowd, but it wasn't. They were too jokey in the beginning, and then a lot of the moves just kind of fell flat and they weren't executed really well. The match ended with Alexa hitting Twisted Bliss on Kairi, but she did not get anywhere near Kairi's torso. She landed the move on Kairi's shins, or her kneecaps, and it was kind of messy. And then I think also too, this one, the thing that hit me the most about this match was the end, when they won it and the belt changed hands. I was definitely oh shit, there's no crowd reaction because there's no crowd. But the match was not great, so maybe it wouldn't have gotten any crowd reaction anyway if there was a crowd. But yeah, I hate saying it, but I didn't like this. Not a good start for me.
I'm glad you mentioned the ending, because I think for me, and I was speaking, it was actually my wife that actually pointed this out to me. And again, just disclaimer, I watched the entirety of WrestleMania with a wife, as I subject her to every single year. She's married to me. She has no fucking choice in the matter.
She knows what she signed up for.
Yeah. Even she said, and she said that was very anticlimactic. As soon as that, and I was just like, you know what, you are actually right. And I think the reason why this match was so hazy in my memory is because I was so distracted by the fact that there was no crowd. There were those moments at the start, like you said, it was leaning heavily on the comedy side of things, which is fine. I've got no issue with that. Kairi Sane and Asuka have been kind of messing around in that kind of region for, a little bit now. So,
Yep,
whatever.
I like it.
But when you don't have a crowd to feed off of with those situations, and you can hear it clear as day, everything that's going on, it just doesn't work. And it was distracting. And I think starting that match with all of that was just kind of, oh shit, there's no crowd. There's actually no crowd here at WrestleMania. This is, I
tell you what did that even more for me, for Kyrie and Asuka's entrance. They did what they always like normally do and each go to like a turnbuckle, and Asuka went to the turnbuckle and took off her mask and did like the seductive like look and bit the mask and like looked into the crowd, and I was like, who the fuck are you looking at? There's no one out there. What are you doing? And that really hit me. And I was like, oh, this is all gonna be weird. Yeah, fucking. And that's
I get told before the match, when you go out there, like, I mean, I know there's no crowd, but Barry's out there. Just make sure you give Barry some eye contact.
Just give him a wink. He likes it. Just gotta make him feel good. And that's when it hit me, and then like it just hit me real hard with that, and I started noticing it more throughout like the entire pay-per-view. But that got me there, and then when at first I thought it was cool being able to like hear some of the things that they were saying, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is kind of interesting. And then the more it kept going on, it really, I don't even say in a negative way, but it became like a distraction for me. I just kept focusing on like all the grunting and like screaming and like noises that I kept hearing, and it wasn't necessarily off-putting, but it definitely was like taking me out of the focus of what was actually going on.
Yeah, I mean that'll be the case, I'm sure. For the next couple of matches. I mean, look, I'm just looking at the card in front of me, and there is a match what changes everything for me in terms of, kind of getting over the whole no crowd thing. But that's a while away. Of course, Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are the new women's tag team champions. The most pointless title. I'd say it's even more pointless than the 24/7 title. I'm not even fucking joking. It's ridiculous.
You know what? That could be an actual true statement.
And it's awful to say because there are women in WWE who are aligned together. There's plenty of women's tag teams you can feed off, and it just is non-existent at this point.
They really could have taken Asuka and Kyrie and made like just like they could have had a really legit run. And I know Kyrie got hurt, and then they were putting Asuka into like the single storyline with Becky and everything like that. But Even that, I know they were trying to make the best out of a worst case situation again because Kyrie got hurt, but I feel like a majority of the women's division is just really cannon fodder for Charlotte and Becky now as well. And it's sad because their women's roster is so deep and so talented. And especially when you take like I love AEW, but I wish they had like a deeper women's roster. And I think of WWE's women's roster, which is so great on both NXT and Raw and SmackDown, and they just don't use like 90% of them to their capacity, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I completely agree. But we'll see where that goes. I mean, if it goes anywhere in the next couple of weeks. I know that some shows have been taped. Well, apparently the post shows were taped before WrestleMania. Yeah. But
Vince loves the shit out of Alexa Bliss, so maybe this will give the belt a little more shine now. The belts.
Fingers crossed, because I do think it deserves a little bit of shine. Bring the Iconics back, for fuck's sake. Give it back to them.
Something. And the belts look fucking great. Like it's a good looking belt, and they just it sucks.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Now, I know this next match you didn't watch, and
no, I did
quite frankly do not care about. So I'll briefly cover it because I don't want to go into too much detail because I'm sure most people listening to this do not give a flying F about it. But we had Elias versus King Corbin, which went for 9 minutes. Now, I'm going to shock you. I'm going to shock everybody else. I'm actually not going to shock you because I told you this before we started recording. But
that's true. Yeah.
But act shocked. Act shocked.
Okay, I'm ready.
I didn't mind it.
What?
Say what? Now, honestly, I did not mind it. I mean, it started with a King Corbin promo, whatever. Elias came down.
I saw that part. I saw him hit him with the guitar, and then that was it.
Yeah, so he hit him with the guitar, and I was like, well, this has started well. And then, obviously, it went into the ring, and obviously they went ahead and did their match. But it wasn't awful. It wasn't as bad as... I think that's the thing. I went into it with very, very, very low expectations. So when it wasn't as bad as that, I was like, I'm actually enjoying this. And I put the tweet out, and to no surprise, nobody tweeted and went, I agree with you.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a lot of support.
Yeah, no, I didn't get much support on that tweet. But yeah, I didn't mind it for what it was. But that's the thing. It was what it was. It wasn't supposed to be some kind of stellar match. And if Mania was in its original form, you know, in Tampa Bay, and none of this shite in the world happened, would this match have existed on the card? I don't know. Maybe it would have been a pre-show match. Probably would have been a pre-show match, actually, to be honest. Elias won via roll-up with tight pulling, and that was it.
Classic.
But it wasn't bad, in my opinion.
That's good. That's good to hear.
It wasn't bad. Now, actually, me and Ant are currently looking at Wikipedia, so we can kind of know what the card was, because I would struggle. And actually, looking at this next match, it actually went 30 seconds less than Elias versus King Corbin.
That's fucking nuts.
Which I actually didn't realize until I just looked then. We had Becky Lynch against Shayna Baszler, Raw Women's title, 8 minutes 30 seconds.
I thought this was long. Looking at the time now, I really thought this match was longer than that. Now that I'm seeing the time, it's making me even more angry about this match than I already was.
Yeah, I mean, this had one of the better builds going into this WrestleMania, because they had the benefit of having this storyline build when there was crowds. Yeah. So they had all that to feed into. I mean, this has been going on since post. Well, I guess you could actually argue this has been going on around Survivor Series time, but like really the push started just after the Royal Rumble, I believe it was, when Shayna came out. So it's had plenty of build. This was a match I was actually really looking forward to. You know, I do absolutely love Shayna Baszler. I think she's fantastic. And I thought, you know, this is going to be it. This is it. And I was saying to the wife when I was watching it, she was like, who do you think is going to win? I was like, Shayna Baszler.
Yep.
Absolutely no ifs, buts, whatever's about it. Shayna Baszler's winning this. And if Becky wins, I will genuinely be shocked. And not only was I shocked when Becky won, because I wasn't actually watching the screen at the time. I heard the 1, the 2, and then I heard a 3, and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I heard the ding, ding, ding. I was like, okay, well, the match has just finished. Looked up, and Becky Lynch has won. I was like, I actually don't know what happened there. And I watched the replay, and I was like, is that the finish? That's the finish you've gone with. And not only that, I was shocked that the match had even finished at that point. The fact that I wasn't even paying attention because I thought there was still time to go, I was just like, this thing is over before I've even like settled into it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything from this match, genuinely.
I literally felt the same thing. Like the way it ended, it made me think, did I have like a glitch in the Matrix, and did I start this match late? Did like the network skip ahead on me? I was like, how did I actually rewound and went back to make sure that I didn't miss anything in the match. And the only things that I remember, like thinking about it now, like Shayna, you know, having Becky and slamming her head into the announcer's table outside, and then putting her in the choke. And I personally, for me, I am very over Becky Lynch's shit. I think like the whole man gimmick has run its course. Her promos now are just like annoying to me. They have been for like ever since around right before they started doing the angle with her and Rollins.
Shut up, you big dope.
Since a little before then, I've been out on Becky Lynch, and I really like Shayna, and I thought this was a perfect moment for Shayna to win. And what bothered me even more than just Becky winning was the way in which she won. Like, Shayna is a former MMA fighter and a 2-time NXT Women's Champ who put on classic, like, really good matches. I know it may be, like, boring to some, but she put on good stuff. How the fuck does she not know to get her shoulders off the mat in this time in the clutch? We've seen this, like, this literal sequence in which Shayna lost to Becky has been done in multiple Shayna matches, and she's rolled out of it or like gotten her like shoulders off the mat and tried to like gain the clutch again. Like, it's a basic thing, and it bothers me that her character would be dumb enough or lose focus in that moment to something that's happened a million times. And then it also comes on the heels of like what at the Royal Rumble she had Charlotte done but couldn't figure out how to push somebody and looked like a fucking idiot as Charlotte eliminated her. Then we go to Elimination Chamber and she runs roughshod over the whole fucking roster in that match. And then we come to Mania and Becky's like dead to rights because she got knocked the fuck out by getting her head slammed into the announcer's table, and then she gets put in the clutch. And like, so they just didn't, the ending just didn't make sense for me. And I found it extreme. I found it more anticlimactic than I did the ending to the women's tag match.
Yeah. Because at least with the women's tag match, you kind of thought, well, there's the Twisted Bliss. Nikki Cross is in the ring to protect, Asuka coming in to break up the pin. You kind of knew it was happening. That was the ending. But this, not so much.
I really thought like, okay, this makes perfect sense. This will be the first time she gets the clutch in, Becky. And I really was just like, cool, Shayna will kick out. And because again, I also felt, because of the things I just said, and then combined with like the timing of it, I was like, this match hasn't been even going on for 10 minutes. There's at least another 10 minutes in this match. And when the 3 count happened, I was like, what? Are they gonna restart it? Like, are they gonna say this was a mistake? Like, I was just super confused. I didn't get that finish at all. I was very, very disappointed by the end of this match.
Yeah.
And the quality of the match as a whole, like, especially 2 years in a row, like I felt the Becky Charlotte Ronda triple threat match at last year's Mania, like the execution of it was kind of underwhelming, and I felt the same for this. Like, this match got such great build because, exactly to your point, like it started arguably around Survivor Series time, and it picked up a lot of steam after Rumble, and it had a lot of direction and purpose. And then the fact that it goes on the main card of night 1 as the fourth match overall, if you include the pre-show, and it goes for less than 9 minutes, and then it ends the way it did, I thought it just sucked. I was really upset.
Yeah, it's not going to be the end. I think they've kind of alluded to that with some of their Twitter posts. However, it sucked really a lot of the excitement out of the feud for me, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people as well. But maybe it can be redeemed. I don't know. But
it sucks in that moment to have, like, because you kind of figure, like, to your point, like, it'll continue, especially when you get, like, a quote-unquote, like, fluky victory like that. But that shouldn't happen at a WrestleMania.
No.
Like, that should have happened at the February pay-per-view, or even if you wanted to do it at Rumble, and that's what, like the Mania is supposed to be the culmination. It's not supposed to be, like, another launch point to something in the future. Like, it's the same shit when Cena beat Bray, and then Bray eventually, like, got the victory over him at, like, another pay-per-view, like, 2 months later that nobody even fucking remembers because nobody gives a shit. Because all they remember is the WrestleMania one. Like, it shouldn't be the first match in a series or the second. It's the culmination. It's the end of your year. Like, and that sucks.
We'll see where that one goes.
Sorry, I know I'm definitely bothered by that match.
Oh no, it was one of the. It was, like I said, it was one of those matches that when they revealed, like, this is the card for night 1, I was like, this is one of the matches I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
And for that, just
I thought
to
that would
kind
be the
of
best match of the night.
Yeah, but it could have very easily have been best match of the night. But the fact that it was so, it seemed just overlooked is what it looked like to me. So yeah, it's disappointing. And something else that was disappointing, like match-wise, very disappointing. Story-wise, it kind of worked. We had Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, Intercontinental Championship on the line. This went 9 minutes and 20 seconds, 6 minutes of which Sami Zayn spent outside of the ring running away from Daniel Bryan. I think, were we stupid to think that this was going to be a technical masterclass?
Yeah, I realized it after. Like, I'm not mad at WWE. I'm not mad at booking or creative or whatever. I'm legitimately mad at myself for thinking that this match was going to be sweet. I can't believe I ever thought that WWE would let Sami Zayn do anything satisfactory in a wrestling ring. I really thought my 2 highlights coming into this, like, night 1, I was like, I wanted to see what was going to happen with the Boneyard match. I thought the ladder match would be cool, but I really was like, Becky and Shayna is going to be match of the night, or, you know what, Sammy and Daniel Bryan could be fucking epic, and it was not.
Yeah, it really wasn't. Like, and I don't even think I'm exaggerating when I say it's 6 minutes of Sami Zayn running away from Daniel Bryan.
No, you're pretty spot on.
It is essentially what Sammy has become in the last year, it would seem. You know, he's fallen into this manager role because creative don't know what the fuck to do with him, which is bizarre because He is a hell of a feckin' wrestler. Like,
Just let him wrestle.
Yeah, and I don't understand why. Even in this match, just like, it's not as if the people watching it don't know how good he is. Like, are we supposed to sit there and believe that he's like this much of an idiot, this much of a like an afterthought when it comes to in-ring stuff? Like, it's weird. I mean, I love Sami Zayn and what he's doing at the moment. Like, I think he's one of the shining lights of SmackDown, in what otherwise is a pretty boring show overall. Like, Sami Zayn is one of the highlights easily.
Yeah.
So I get where they're coming from with this and all that kind of stuff. But when you see Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan and attach the Intercontinental Championship to it at WrestleMania, your mind wanders and expects really good stuff. And we didn't get it.
And it's even more for the belt itself. Like, Braun had it for like a day and a half and then lost it in that handicap match. And then now it gets less than 10 minutes on a WrestleMania card, and which is really like around 3 minutes of actual wrestling.
Yeah.
And damn, yeah, maybe it's just because like I'm a bit of a Lapsed fan to a degree, or like I've hit a certain age, but like I just remember, like, I don't know, I'm sure so you're probably the same way too. Like, I remember like when Ultimate Warrior went up against Hogan at WrestleMania 6. And granted, I wasn't alive then, but I remember seeing it on video. And, like, Warrior was the Intercontinental Champ, and Hogan was the WWF Champ. And, like, the Intercontinental belt meant something. And when Bret Hart had it, and when Shawn Michaels had it, and Razor had it, like, I think of, like, WrestleMania 10 and, like, Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and that fucking ladder match for the Intercontinental title. And then to know where we are now with the Intercontinental title is just, it's such a shame for that belt.
Massively.
Sucks.
But I guess it fed into the story of Sami Zayn and the I don't even know what they call it, the Artist Collective, I believe they call themselves. It fed into all of that. So from there, I guess it succeeded. But I think a lot of us expected a lot more of it.
I really
stupidly.
I figured Sammy would still win through some kind of like cheating or bullshit, but I feel so dumb saying it out loud. I really thought we were gonna get like at least like 13 to 14 minutes of like an actually good match, and we did not. I mean, like, you let Bryan and Gulak go off the pay-per-view before and have a great match. I was like, okay, Sammy and Bryan are gonna do the same thing. Nope.
Yeah, no, never.
Maybe there's something we don't know. Maybe there's like, I don't know, maybe one of them was, with everything going on, maybe like one of them was hurt and they couldn't do much, or they had to figure something out, and maybe there's like some underlying cause. I really want to try and give the benefit of the doubt, but I'm just trying to make excuses because I can't believe I bought into the fact that I thought they'd let Sammy do anything. So stupid.
Gutted, mate. However, the next match was pretty bloody good.
Yeah, it was a good one.
John Morrison against Jimmy Uso and Kofi Kingston, a triple threat ladder match for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Went 18 minutes and 30 seconds, so the longest match on the card at this point. I thought it was very, very strange that we had a singles match for tag team titles, but I kind of got over that pretty quickly because... Well,
it was a good match.
It was a very good match. And considering there was nobody there to feed off of, some of the stuff these guys were doing was like fucking bravo.
Yeah, they really. And again, this was a WWE traditional ladder match where you have to climb the ladder to get the belts, not a ladder match like you and I booked where the winner of the match is the first one to build a ladder. But I thought it was good. I thought the same thing that you like mentioned. I thought, man, it's like tag team titles, but it's really like a triple threat. This is going to be like kind of weird. But I was really just much like I did for the match before, thinking like, well, Sami Zayn is awesome and Daniel Bryan's awesome. This will be a good match. I was thinking the same thing with this. I was like, John Morrison is sweet. Kofi's sweet. Jimmy Uso's sweet. Like, they should be able to just give us some good spots. And that's exactly what they did. And I thought a lot of the ways they used the ladders were creative and fun, even though we'd seen some of those spots before. But it was high impact. Good pacing. I like the ending a lot.
Yeah.
And how the camera zoomed in on Jimmy and Kofi as they both were kind of like, fuck, like we just let that happen. And yeah, I thought it was cool. This brought me back big time. Like, the disappointment I had after the previous two matches was pretty high, and this match really got me feeling like real Mania-esque. I got excited after this one.
Yeah, and this isn't where I kind of got over the distraction of, no fans, but it definitely helped. Because,
Yeah.
I think as soon as I heard Jimmy Uso, and I'm paraphrasing it because I can't remember the exact fucking phrase, but it was something along the lines of, drop like a pancake, boy! As soon as I heard that, I was just like, yeah, like no crowd, happy with that.
Yep, it's spot on. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. Like this was one where I stopped focusing on like any outside factors, like the fact that Mania was canceled or that there's nobody in the arena, and I was just focused on like the actual match and what was going on in the ring.
And I think, like you said, the finish. A lot of people moaned about the finish, but you look at the previous matches: Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, the women's tag titles. I mean, the finish was the finish. I'm happy with that. Elias was a roll-up tight pull. Becky Lynch was that stupid shite. Sami Zayn's was a haluva kick, which wasn't a haluva kick because it wasn't in the corner and just kind of hit him in the face and whatever, shit finish. And then this one, a lot of people were also calling a terrible finish, but I haven't seen anything like that before. I mean, obviously there have been variations on it, but the fact that he just falls with both titles onto a ladder of all things as well, I liked it, and it kind of fit. Obviously Miz wasn't in the match, but how Morrison and Miz were. And by the way, this wasn't part of the match, but it was on the pre-show. How do you feel about Miz and Morrison's little track that they came up with?
I was super... So, to put into context how I saw this, I had forgotten, like, to a degree that Mania was happening this weekend. And then I remembered at the last minute and was watching... I was watching some of the WWE Untold stuff, and I was watching the one about the match between Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, which was awesome. That WWE Untold episode was fantastic. And after I stopped that, I saw the pre-show was happening, and so I started it like right there, and I picked it up right as the rap started, and I was confused as fuck. Like, I ended up going back and watching the pre-show to understand, to one, see the entire pre-show, but two, like, understand what was going on. And I was so confused, but I loved it. I thought it was, like, stupid and corny and super over the top, and I thought it executed what was supposed to be executed. Like, Miz and Morrison are heels. They did that. The goal of them doing that was to make you hate them, and they succeeded, because I was like, this sucks. I fucking hate these guys. And then I was like, oh, job well done.
It's actually in my head. I've been going around the house going, Miz and Morrison, hey, ho. Like, it's...
I was so
my jam.
Confused. But it was good. And yeah, I like that. I like the little things like that. Like, even if they don't work all the time, like, or make complete sense, the attempts at creativity, or the actual creativity, like, are good. And I thought that was a good example of it. I thought the finish to the ladder match itself, again, like you said, like, it was different. It was something you don't really see. And Morrison took a cool little bump out of it. Like, I think if you try... I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, as long as you try, like, I'll give you points for it. But I think it's cool to try and think out of the box and try to do different things. And I thought their stupid rap and the ending to this match were both good examples of that.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said as well, like, this kind of started giving us the Mania feels that were especially lacking for me. And I don't know how a lot of people felt about Mania up to this point, but I was a bit underwhelmed. But this really, really brought me back in. However, the thing that really topped me off and got me fully invested into Mania, which was, I'm glad it did, because it set me up perfectly for what finished night one. Kevin Owens against Seth Rollins went 17 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh my God, I love this match. I've seen it twice now. I watched it, of course, obviously when WrestleMania was aired, and then I watched it again today, because I watched the bump stunt Owens stunt. I watched that again. I was like, you know what? If I'm watching that, I'm just going to watch the whole match again, and I did, and I loved it. At this point, it's close. The ladder match was really, really good, but I think because I've really, really enjoyed the story that Owens and Rollins have put on over the last couple of months. Like, it's not even a case of this thing has been thrown together. This thing has been going on for months.
Yep.
You know, so the point where they haven't even had a singles match, which is unlike WWE, you know, they've held off all the way till Mania to give us this. So I think that really, really helped and gave us that big payoff, which I didn't think we were going to get when Seth Rollins decided to clock Owens over the head with the ring bell, and we had that DQ finish. I had my fucking pitchforks out, ready to go on the hunt. I was pissed off. I was like, you've been building up the fact that Owens hasn't had a Mania moment and all this stuff, and you're gonna do him like that. That is what you're gonna do. I know it feeds into the story, but I was like, come on, don't do that. And then of course Owens grabbed the mic, kind of, you know, berated Seth into coming back down to ring, put on the no DQ tag, and the match continued. Away we go. I love this thing. Loved it.
Yeah, I completely agree. This to me was a match that was, not everything has to follow like the script and happen like it should, but this to me was like a really good culmination of a story arc. We've been seeing everything with Rollins, that his slow burn and then dramatic turn to heel, his involvement with Owens and the whole Samoa Joe feud, and like all the different angles that this has turned into. And what you said was spot on. Like, Owens has never really gotten his hands on Rollins in like a fair way. And then you think he gets fucked over again, and then they restart the match with no DQ. We get the Mania moment of this Mania with Owens not only doing the spot, but then saying, like, how's this for a WrestleMania moment? Like, fucking awesome. And good for Kevin Owens. Like, I love Kevin Owens. Yes. I loved him in Ring of Honor. I loved him in NXT. Like, I've always wanted him to get more shine and spotlight. I think he is so brilliant on the mic and is a way better wrestler and in-ring performer than people give him credit for. And it was awesome for him, even though it wasn't in front of people, for him to get, again, to me, it was the WrestleMania moment. Him jumping off that and then getting the win, like, oh yeah, I felt, again, back to back, much like you said, it's like we're sharing the same brain. I felt good after the ladder match, and then this even more so. I was like, oh shit, like, Mania moment, good build, good finish. Like, even the build and the finish and the match was good, let alone like the build to their entire story arc that started in the fall. Like, it was just really well done. I was pleased with how this came out.
And like I said, you know, earlier on, like when it came to the distraction of no crowd and all that kind of stuff, and hearing everything that was going on, this was what made me go, I'm okay with it, because you heard these two, especially Seth, you know, there was trash talk going back and forth, which you would not have heard had there been a huge crowd. Maybe you would have heard snippets, but a lot of it would have just gone over your head. But the fact there was nobody else there, you could hear every single thing being said, and including Kev saying, how's this for a WrestleMania moment?
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff you would have just missed, or you would have just completely forgotten about, because you could just see their lips moving. You might have worked it out, but it would have been forgotten. You know, but in this setting, in this atmosphere, you know, there's nothing else going on. You could hear all of this stuff, and it really fed into the whole story. Like, I think having no crowd helped this match even more, because you heard everything that was being said. They were building on the story. You know, like, I think Kevin Owens was saying to Seth at some point, like you're responsible for this place, like the being in the performance center, and it was like, you don't get that with a crowd, so it helped. And from this moment on, you know, especially feeding into night 2, it was a game changer for WrestleMania, the whole weekend for me as a whole. You know, essentially, like, you could look at it as my WrestleMania kind of started with that ladder match.
Yeah,
and everything else I've just completely just fobbed off.
1,000%. It started with that ladder match. I think it peaked with the Owens match, and yeah, I love what you said about like being able to hear their dialogue in the match. I thought this match had it. I liked the back and forth verbally between Charlotte and Rhea in their match, which we'll get into, and then being able to hear Taker and AJ go back and forth, even though that wasn't in the PC, but being able to hear that in the Boneyard match, I thought those were all really cool little nuanced things. And when I first started hearing it in the Rollins match, it made me think of, last year or 2 years ago, there was a Barcelona soccer match where, because of the political unrest going on in Catalonia, they had no fans in the stadium. So it was in this 90,000 seat, the Camp Nou where Barcelona plays, and it was a real league game, but no fans. And you could hear, it was so cool. I got goosebumps thinking about it. You could hear the players communicating with each other. And I had never heard or watched a soccer game that didn't have like crowd noise in it. And it was just so cool to see like how the players like interacted with each other like every second of the game, like calling stuff out and who should do what and how things should go. And it added a little bit to the game for me. And I thought that was the same thing with like Owens and Rollins. Like they hated each other and this was a feud, and to be able to hear the verbiage that they were using to each other throughout this match, I thought added to it more and made the match more special.
And especially when you've got two good talkers as well.
Oh, dude,
going
yeah.
at it,
it was made for them.
An easy win. A very, very easy win. And the right guy won in the end as well with Kevin Owens. It kind of makes the whole thing go full circle. Whether they'll continue to feud, I don't know. I'd be surprised if they did, because that was kind of like the culmination of everything they've done to that point. But a very, very, very good match.
I also read that I think that was Seth Rollins' first Mania loss ever.
Oh. I think it could actually be. Oh, no, actually, he lost against Randy Orton.
Oh, there you go. You're right. Never mind. I take it back. Actually, I didn't take it back. I did read that somewhere, so whoever said that is fucking wrong. I don't remember who it was, but if you're listening to this, you made me look like a fool, and I'm so mad. How could I forget that, too? That was like the greatest RKO ever.
Hell yes. Now, I will happily gloss over this next part because I don't care. Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, Universal title, went 2 minutes 10 seconds. Braun Strowman won after a couple of power slams or pump handle slams, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
Why not just have? I understand Roman pulled out, and the whole thing was to like build so that Roman could beat Goldberg, and maybe you were like pushed into a corner here because you only had Goldberg signed for a certain amount of time, and so he had to lose the belt at this thing or something. But this match sucked. The ending sucked. This is like, it's a major fucking belt, and the match was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and it just had some spears and power slams, and that was it. Like, I could not give less of a shit about this blue belt than I do right now.
Yeah, and I mean, they're both completely different emotions that I get from them, but I've kind of got a similar complaint with Night 2 as well, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that I saw something, Triple H was in like a conference call with somebody and said, we're going to explain this whole Roman Reigns situation. It's going to be really good. And I watched I never really watched SmackDown. Like I'm over it. I'm past it. It's not a good viewing experience. I thought, I'll watch it just to kind of see what they go with. And it was Michael Cole looking into the camera saying, Braun Strowman versus Goldberg, Universal title, WrestleMania, match card, done. I was like, that's the explanation. Why is Roman out storyline wise?
Yep.
And B, why the fuck is Braun Strowman the guy that they're bringing in? Like, what is the explanation?
What the fuck is he done?
Yeah.
Why does he get a shot? What the fuck?
I was like, I don't understand what's happening here. But we all knew it anyway because the rumor mill was going round and round and round and round, and we kind of accepted it for what it was. But still, no explanation. Like, going into this, I was not excited for it at all. It was a terrible, terrible match.
Yeah.
Afterthought.
Yeah. I knew. What I didn't expect anything for this match, and the match that happened was actually lower than the bar that I had set beforehand. So I'm more upset than I was going into it.
Oh, can you imagine if this actually finished the show?
Oh God, that would have been maybe they were smart enough to know it and be like, oh my God, we can't put this on last. But I mean, and it really killed like a nice little streak. Like, we started to build up again. Like, the ladder match was sweet, and then the Owens match, and I was like, okay, here we go. And then I saw the graphics come up for the title match, and I was like, oh no. And then at least it was only 2. God, I can't. It's amazing. This is one of the most important belts, and it was 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and it just had 2 moves in it the whole time. God, that sucks.
Yeah, wasn't good. It was not good. But I can tell you what was good, and that was the finish to night 1 of WrestleMania, which really, really redeemed the fact that we had this little blip. I mean, we talked about how WrestleMania started at that ladder match, but that was a fucking blip and a half. But this really, really brought it back. Like I didn't have, to be honest, I didn't have low expectations. I didn't have high expectations because more so because I didn't know what the fuck a boneyard match was.
Right.
But we had The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I assumed it would be something around the ring. Turns out, not so much. It ended up being a cinematic match, which I haven't actually had that much exposure to as a wrestling fan. So this was very, very refreshing to me, but I was very like, I'm not sure about this. And then Metallica started playing.
Oh, good times.
And then we had Biker Taker.
Oh, God.
And, it just went from there. It went from that to another height, to another height, to another height. And then I thought, oh, God, like it's ended too soon when Undertaker dropped into the grave. I was like, this is too soon. Not happy with this. And then Lord above, there he is, dong, behind AJ. And I thought, here we go again. We continue. And it went on and on and on. And then, of course, built to the finish with Taker burying AJ Styles with not much rubble, even though the little bit of footage at the end showed a lot more rubble than was in that little fucking machine.
Yep. Definitely.
But there you go. That's wrestling. That's a little nitpick out of what was a fucking fantastic little segment. But like the whole thing, the production of it, the B-movie cheesiness of it, the music, the trash talking, like seeing Undertaker like this was so... I've been clamoring for Biker Taker for years and years and years. As soon as the whole dead man thing... When he retired at WrestleMania, supposedly, against Roman Reigns when he lost and everything went down in the ring, I thought, that's it, he's gone. But if he was to come back, ditch dead man, go to Biker Taker, and he never did. He continued the shtick. And to see him kind of come back as Biker Taker, still obviously have that supernatural kind of thing going on, but... just to have the appearance at least of Biker Taker and to be able to offer up any trash talking, and like his trash talking was phenomenal. Like, excuse the pun. Like the stuff he was coming out with was I was just popping every single time he was coming out with stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I've since watched this another 4 times. Wow. I'm obsessed with it. Obsessed with it. Like, what did you... I mean, I gather that you enjoyed it, but like, what was your kind of perception as a whole?
I'd seen all the stuff that they did with like the Hardy Compound stuff in TNA, so I have some experience with this kind of stuff, and I've also seen Lucha Underground, so like the cinematic style of things. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but it wasn't something that was new to me. I liked it for this match because... One, we got to see, like, Taker is obviously a bit older. And when you put him in a thing like this that you can do, like, production edits and different things, like, you don't see him really as much, like, have to struggle or labor. So, one, I thought it was just a natural, easy way of making Taker look better, like, physically and performance-wise. 2, just everything, like, I genuinely liked everything about it. It was so over the top, but it was well done. Like, AJ coming out of the casket and trolling Taker coming in on the bike to Metallica, and then, the trash talk of just, like, Taker hitting him with the strikes and just doing the whole, like, where we going, boy? Like, oh, you want to talk about my wife? Like, this and that. Like, it would just...
You think I'm old? You still think I'm old, boy?
Yes. Yeah, how old am I now? Like, I just felt like I was watching... I felt like I was watching a movie, and I was watching like the end fight for a movie.
It's like Roadhouse.
Oh my God, dude. I was watching Roadhouse earlier in the day. I was literally just about to say that exact thing right now. I swear to God. I love the shit out of Roadhouse. And I felt like I was watching the fight when Patrick Swayze is fighting the dude on the beach and he rips his fucking throat out. Like, that's the fight. Like, I felt like I was watching. Even right in the beginning when Taker goes to hit AJ by the what's the name of the thing, the fucking car that carries the fucking caskets?
Oh, the hearse.
There you go, bang, hearse. I was like limo, but that's not it. When he goes to hit AJ and AJ ducks and then Taker hits the window and the window like cuts Taker's arm. He's like, oh, like, would you look at this shit? Like, look what you made. Like, it was just so well done, and I think would probably even put it over more for me, much like what you mentioned. Like, I wanted Biker Taker for years. I really thought when the Mania that Kid Rock was performing at, I really thought we were going to get it because I was like, oh, Kid Rock's going to perform American Badass and fucking Biker Taker's going to come out. Like, perfect. I've been wanting Biker Taker for years. My only regret with this match is that I wish we got Biker Taker on a grander stage. I wish he got to come back at, not that this wasn't an actual WrestleMania, but you know what I mean. Like, I wish he got to come back at an actual Mania. But other than that, I got no qualms or problems with it. I like the cheesiness of AJ trying to run away and Taker fucking bringing up flames and fire, and then even just at the end, like before he puts him into the fucking hole, like telling him like, oh, you fought your ass off, like this and that, like I respect you, you had a lot of fight in you, this and that, blah blah, and then just like him turning and being like, nah, fuck that. Oh, and he puts him in, buries him. Like I thought this match was well received overall, and then I went on Twitter for a bit and I saw a lot of people shitting all over it, and I was surprised because I thought like, I don't know how you could watch that match and not just be, even if you thought it was dumb, like it was entertaining and fun. Like I just don't get how you wouldn't see it as that.
And there was some high profile, like I mean, I say high profile, I'm talking like they're verified accounts on Twitter that were shitting on it, and I was like, what? Are you watching what I'm watching? Like this, you kind of have to. As soon as I saw it, because like even my wife was just like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was just like, I don't know. Like I switched off to absolutely any. I was invested from the moment I kind of saw the set, and like I said, I was very like what's this all about? And then AJ kind of goes, I can hear him coming. You can hear the bike. You can hear the bike. I'm like, oh my and then all you see, God.
They go to that shot, and it's just darkness, but you can see the light that's on his motorcycle, and then you hear the Metallica music coming up softly, and then it's full blast. Oh,
so well done.
It was good, and it was like a movie. So my fiance even peeked in at one point. I was watching on my iPad, and I was having her use the TV in the living room, and she like looked over and she was like, oh, I thought you were watching like wrestling stuff. I was like, I am. She was like, it looks like you're watching a movie. And I was like, but I'm not.
Dum dum
and
dum.
Like, yeah, I was surprised, much to your point, like that I saw like a lot of quote unquote verified accounts of people shitting all over it and people being upset, and even a couple people who when I watch like stuff that I'm like into, or just when I'm watching in general, like I don't really tweet or like live tweet and stuff. I might comment on some people's tweets here and there, but one of the people I interact with on Twitter, like I had said something about the match and they commented on my thing. We're like, oh, I thought this match sucked. Like it was a low light for me. It was stupid and over the top and corny. And I was just like, damn, like really? Like that's when it really kind of hit me. And then I started looking at more things on Twitter and I saw all the negativity, and it really surprised me because I am not by any means like a big WWE fan anymore. I still watch it. And I follow it, but I think a lot of it is just shitty and bad. But I saw this and I loved it. I thought it was a perfect night ending match. It was a good thing to bring it back for how shitty Braun and Goldberg was, and yeah, it was fun. And yeah, I just thought it was fun. Like I had a good time watching this.
And it kind of, I didn't actually even. I mean, I was so absorbed in what was actually going on. Like it wasn't until today when somebody mentioned it, and they were like, AJ Styles just main evented WrestleMania.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
And I was like, you're right. Like I completely glossed over it because I think it was, I mean, to me, the main event will always be the Sunday show. If a two-night thing exists again, the Sunday night main event will be the main event. However, it's still a main event of WrestleMania. Whatever night it is, it's still a main event of WrestleMania, and AJ Styles just did that.
He closed it out. So cool. And I also think it worked out better if I don't know what the original plans were going to be, but I think even though AJ is one of the top 10, maybe even top 5 still wrestlers in the world, like I don't think if they would have had a match in the ring, it would have come out as good as this did. Like I don't know how well their styles mesh. Taker, again, can't move around great. This match, I think, was better than what would have happened in the ring. And yeah, it was fucking, I don't know if it's the people who just like to take wrestling too seriously or whatever. And I mean, I do. Like, I view it as a sport, but I watched this match and I had fun. I went back and watched it again. I fucking liked it a lot.
And I mean, this is kind of where we were going with, saying that Mania started for us around the ladder match. It was good to, I mean, obviously we forget about Braun and Goldberg. That's just non-existent for me anymore. but you kind of have that triple threat of the ladder match, the Owens-Rollins match, and then the Boneyard match, and it just it made me forget about everything else that came before it. The night one for me wasn't great, but it had a lot of great things going on. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed night one, as weird as it was initially. I got over it, like I said, around the ladder match, and then especially the Rollins match, and it made, especially the Boneyard match, when I was watching that, it made me very excited for night two, which, before we were recording, we both agreed was the better night. And that is the end of part one, covering WrestleMania 36's night one. Be sure to check back with the DOWPOD tomorrow when part two drops on all socials and etc. If, of course, you're listening to this after the fact, then just head back to wherever you listen to this podcast. You can probably just press skip and it'll take you to part two. So that will all be available very, very soon. But thank you for listening to part one. Make sure you follow us on social media. So me at Dits on Wrestling, Anthony over at ANTwontstop, and more plugs will follow after the end of part two when that drops. But thank you very much for listening, guys, and I'll see you in part two.